Cold.
You're kidding. Just one shot?
They're not all zombies, Doug. How do you fight this thing?
Maybe we could drown it in A1 sauce.
Well, sometimes that is better. The person you put up there ain't the person that comes back.
It's a dance song to get down with. About 6 feet under. Get down.
Ooh, I love this song. I'm hung up in a grave situation.
And now we come to the thrilling final episode of our radio drama.
Hello and welcome to episode 260 of the Rotten Views podcast. If you're a returning listener, thank you so much for returning to another new episode this week. If you're a new listener, thank you for searching up this movie of all movies. I'm not sure why you're searching this one up. I actually haven't even watched the movie upon doing this intro yet, so I don't know if it's a good movie or a bad movie, but thank you nonetheless for showing up for this episode. I appreciate it very much, and hopefully you'll check out the back catalog of other movies that we've done. Done a lot of good movies, done a lot of bad movies, done a lot of silly movies, so there's a little bit there for everybody. So hopefully you'll stick around, hopefully you'll hit that subscribe button, all that other fun stuff, and you'll check out all the content that we have, all the free content. We're actually doing this episode just right after recording episode 259. It's already edited, it's already uploaded, or scheduled to go up, and I'm just making the best use of my free time as I can right now. So hopefully you'll get this episode out, maybe even another episode out. I don't really know what the game plan is yet. I never really do, but we're gonna hopefully figure it out one of these days. You know, we're getting closer and closer to that 300. It's crazy to think that we're still sticking around with this. I mean, it's just a passion project at this point. It always has been a passion project, but I'm happy that I can do this and people actually enjoy it. With that being said, before we do get too far into it, let's do a little bit of housekeeping like we like to do each and every single week of the podcast.
Housekeeping?
No, think you're sleeping.
Housekeeping?
Could you come back in an hour?
Housekeeping, you want towel?
More towels. Need sleepy.
Housekeeping, you want mint for pillow?
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God.
As always, if you want to help grow the podcast, help get out to more eyes and ears, feel free to hit that share button on whatever podcast platform you're on. If you're on Spotify, feel free to hit the share button there or leave a comment. You can also leave a review or rating. They got the star rating system over on Spotify, so give it, 5-star, 4-star, whatever you might want. If it's a 1-star, that's fine. I'll find you on GTA Online and run you over, but that's besides the point. Not in real life. I said GTA Online, so you can't come at me for that. You can't. I'm talking video game talk, because that's what we like to do. If you're on Apple Podcasts or YouTube Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Is it Google Podcasts still a thing? I think CastBox is still out there, but I don't know if they have a rating system. Just hit that share button. That share button does help out a lot. It helps us get to a wider range of listeners, which is actually crazy because actually upon just searching or checking my analytics before doing this episode, in the last 7 days we've had like an additional 450 new listeners, or listens I should say. I didn't break it down by listeners, it just listens in general. So thank you everyone who's been checking out the podcast in the last week, last month, last year, whatever it might be. Thank you very much. It does mean a lot to me. And if you want some more free content, make sure to check out all the links down below. You can find me on all social media accounts. We're on Thread, we're on X, TikTok, whatever you want to call it. Twitter, X or Twitter. I don't know why I said X and TikTok. That's the same thing. It's X or Twitter. I know a lot of people don't like calling it X. I think it's a stupid name. Twitter wasn't great either, but that's besides the point. but we're on Instagram. But the main thing you can check out for the most amount of free content is the YouTube channel. So go check it out at Typhonstein, youtube.com at Typhonstein. Links are down below. It's fine. Easy to find. But we have the weekly game video that drops every single Wednesday. Have old episodes of the podcast that drop every single Monday. We have various shorts over there as well. And I do live streams and community posts. I do community posts because I do the On This Day in Horror on there, as well as I do that also on the Rotten Views podcast Instagram page. So if you want to check that out, all the links are down below. It's fun. I know I say that a lot, but they're down below. Just click down below. You'll find the links. But yeah, check out the YouTube channel. We're getting closer to that 1,000 mark. That's pretty crazy. We've been getting a good chunk of views over there as well on the Instagram page and the Facebook page. So I'm just trying to grow that community ever so much more and just create a like-minded group of people who enjoy all the same stuff. And the last thing that we're going to promote is if you want to check out the CWC Canadian Wrestling Championship page. We have a Facebook page as well as an Instagram page where you can find all your wrestling content. And like I said in the last episode, nothing's changed in 24 hours, but we will have some more news on the promotion and everything else coming up soon. Shooting for an October release for the first show, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, and we'll go from there. We're just gonna ride this ride as long as we can, and that's all you can ever hope for. So, but yeah, enough about all that stuff. I think I hit all the points. I got a ton of artwork if you guys want to check it out. You got it on the Instagram page, you got it on the Facebook page, you got it on the YouTube channel, so you can hit it up on whatever platform you really want to. But you guys are really here. The one reason you guys are here is to listen to me talk about this movie from 1986, Land of Doom. Almost said Land of the Doom, but it's not. It's Land of Doom from 1986. I'm watching this one on Tubi, so if you're a new listener, what I like to do each and every single episode of the podcast, I talk about a movie from start to finish and hit all the points in between that interest me. So that means it's going to be spoiler heavy, but I don't want to hear any crap on a movie that came out in 1986 before I was even born. Yet again, I could get it if it was like a newer movie. I would try to leave the spoilers, aside. But this is an older movie, so it's gonna be spoiler heavy. So, like I said, if you don't want to be spoiled, feel free to go watch it on Tubi for free, or just sit back, relax, listen to me talk about the movie, and I'll either make you really want to see the movie, or you'll be okay with skipping it. I leave that judgment call up to you at the end of this podcast. But this movie is an hour and 28 minutes. It's an action sci-fi movie. It's got 3.7 out of 10 on IMDb, a whopping 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that might be one of the lowest scores on Rotten Tomatoes that we've done for a podcast episode. As well, it's got 2.6 out of 5 on Letterboxd. 57% of Google users apparently enjoyed this movie. The description as read from IMDb: Earth has been ravaged by a nuclear war, and a feminist warrior is forced to join up with a soldier of fortune in her journey to find a rumored paradise as they battle gangs of rampaging bandits. Kind of like the description on Tubi a little bit more. The Tubi description is: traveling through a wasteland ravaged by a nuclear apocalypse. Two survivors search for a rumored paradise while evading a metal-faced villain. It says nothing about the metal-faced villain in the other one, so that's kind of disappointment. This movie is directed by Peter Maris, who's best known for being the director for 2006 The Survivor, the director for 1981's Diplomatic Immunity, as well as the director for 1979's Delirium. I remember hearing that one. I've never actually watched it, but I definitely have heard of that one. He's also the director for 2000's Warpath. I think I've heard of that one as well. I could be wrong though on that one. Let me know if you know any of his movies down below. I'd like to hear your feedback. This movie also has two writers tied to it, and the first one we're going to talk about is Peter Kottis. Aside from being the writer for this, he was the editor for the 1996 The Killer Inside, which was also done by the director, as well as the editor for the 1998 movie Alien Species, done by the same director as well. So it's kind of like they have the little creative bundle going there as well. The other writer credit for this one is Craig Rand, who did one episode, which is interesting, for the 1986 Transformers cartoon. He did one episode as a writer for the 1987 TV show The Glow Friends. It was another cartoon. As well as a writer for another episode, it might have been the whole series, it doesn't really say. But in 1986, The Potato Head Kids, which was also another cartoon. And other than that, he didn't work on anything else. So it's interesting, he did this one movie and then he did a couple cartoons. I mean, I'm up for cartoons. I like cartoons. Then we're going to hop over to the actor section. The two people that we're going to talk about. The first one being Deborah Renard, who's playing the character of Harmony. She was in 186 episodes from 1981 to 1981 of Dallas, playing the character of Sly. And then she was in a bunch of other TV shows like FBI Most Wanted. She was in an episode of Law & Order in 2022. She was Cynthia in the 1980 movie Absent Without Leave, which I've never heard of, but it kind of looks like it's Jean-Claude Van Damme on the cover. I haven't actually zoomed in to look at it, and I don't plan on it either. So, also in 1981, she was in 23 episodes of Days of Our Lives. I feel like that was a soap opera that my mom used to watch when I was in, like, public school. I remember a couple times staying home sick, and she would skip between that, The Price is Right, and Maury. Jerry Springer, too. Gotta have Jerry Springer in the mix because that was classic. That was go-to. And the other actor that we're going to talk about is Garrick Dowhin. Might have butchered that last name. They're in a bunch of French-related productions, but he was Anderson in this movie, of course. He was also in 3 episodes of Crossings in 1986 and 1 episode of Remington Steele in 1985. Other than that, just a bunch of other French-related projects that I'm not even going to try and pronounce because I know I would butcher them. And sadly, it doesn't happen too often, but every now and then it does happen. Sadly, this movie doesn't even feature a tagline. It's a disappointing time when we go to check out the tagline for the movie because it could be fun. And this one's a little bit disappointing because it's not even around, but it is what it is. And also, whoever did the trivia on IMDb, it sounds a little stupid the way they wrote it, or maybe I'm just stupid, maybe I'm too tired, but the trivia is Deborah Renard and Daniel Randall's movie debut, but co-star Garrick Dowhin's final movie. Fourth billed Frank Garrett only made this movie in his career. I feel like I had a stroke trying to read that, and that's the exact way it's wrote on IMDb. If you don't believe me, you can go look it up yourself. But that's the top booked trivia on IMDb for this movie. Maybe I'm just too stupid. You know what? That being said, we're going to get into the movie at hand because there's really nothing else for me to talk about for this movie. Just like Rabbit Grannies. We're getting right into it. Like I said before, if you're a returning listener, thank you so much for showing up. If you're a new listener, I'm going to be talking about this movie from start to finish and hitting all the points in between. So if you don't want to be spoiled on a movie that came out in 1986, feel free to pause it now and then come back later once you're done watching the movie on Tubi because it's free. Or just sit back, relax, listen to me talk about the movie, and I'll either make you really want to watch the movie or you'll be okay with skipping it. I leave that one up to you at the end of this. But now, with all that out of the way, if you guys are listening at home, hopefully you're comfy. Hopefully this is helping you get through the dishes or doing the laundry, whatever it might be. If you're at work, hopefully this helps get through the hours of the day. And like I know most of you guys do, if you're listening in the car, hopefully this helps you get to wherever you're going. Just make sure that you're paying attention on where you're going, what you're doing. Hopefully you get there safe and sound. If it's to work, to the groceries, to the kids' soccer game, whatever it might be. Just pay attention to what you're doing and get there safely. And with that being said, we're going to get started on the movie at hand right now.
Presents Saturday Night at the Movies, the television series which each week brings you the finest in recent motion pictures. Tonight,
Beyond Apocalypse. The twisted fate of man creates a last great challenge and puts it in the hands of a woman.
All right. If you can keep up, you can come along. But you have to take care of yourself.
Deborah Reynolds, star of Dallas, leads a band of outlaw survivors against the road pirates. Cannibals, wasters, and mutant dark raiders of the future on the road to destruction. Across the face of a scorched earth, in a land of doom. Land of Doom.
We got the movie starting out with that classic MGM line roar, and then we see some static drawings in basic coloring system as the intro credits are starting to roll on. And not gonna lie, it actually doesn't look too bad. It looks actually pretty neat. I enjoy the way it looks. You got that ominous music playing in the background, and then we see this actually detailed font of the title font coming in for Land of Doom. And it looks like it's all metal and it's got like bolts and stuff hanging out of it. It kind of also looks kind of like it's claymation almost in a sense, or early 3D, I guess, maybe. Who knows? I'm no expert. Clearly it was a prop of some sort because the damn thing blows up right in front of you and you just see it go into pieces all over the place. And then we come back to the drawings that are in basic colors and with the intro credits still rolling. And, you know, it's a pretty good intro so far for the artistic aesthetics, at least for my eyes. And then we just see this bird eye shot and it's the sunrise going up, and we see like a little lake stream going through, and then we hear Harmony talking about, you know, the disease and the pollution, and then we actually see a skeleton hand on the shoreline, and there's a bunch of bones as well because we see these fake ass looking spiders over everything. Some of them you can clearly tell are just like plastic toys that you probably get from the dollar store at the time, but you know, they're fine. It's the prop production company doing the best that they can. I don't have any slack against that. You know, you do what you got with what you got. But then we see Harmony, who's reliving her struggles, and we see a bunch of guys on bikes, motorcycles, all these like high-tech looking, you know, future bikes apparently, probably at the time, Mad Max, Road Warrior looking stuff going on. We see a bunch of people being like ripped out of buildings as they're set on fire. And of course, all the people being ripped out of the buildings are all girls because, you know, it's that time period. We see all the girls being kidnapped, and pretty much any guy they come across, they pretty much just kill on spot because, like, nah, we don't need any other guys in our group at all. And we see Harmony sneaking through some broken buildings. So she sees like a shotgun on the ground, so she goes to grab it. And then this butcher knife comes down beside her. And we see what this guy looks like. And he looks like a goddamn caveman. Anyway, she kicks his ass and pushes him into the fire. And then he's burning alive now. But nobody really cares because, it's fine. And the whole time as everyone's screaming, running away for their lives, we see these bikes still driving around town. A couple bikes have like guns mounted on the front of it, so they're just shooting at the guys when they see them. And of course, you know, all the girls are being R-worded because we're not going to mention that at all. But we also have someone in the background, the biker side, just yelling at his men to make sure they burn everything down. Make sure there's not a single thing left at all. And for some reason, this one girl in the middle of the street must be really something because two of the rebel Apocalypse guys keep fighting over her for whatever reason, and then the one guy goes to stab the other guy in the back, but it just sounds like a thud of a baseball bat, but it's supposed to be the sound of the knife going through the back of the guy's head. Then we see Harmony, she's sneaking through the broken buildings, the rubble and the debris, and she's got a crossbow in hand, and now she's sneaking around the corner, but it seems like everyone else is gone, but she hears moaning, and it's one of the villagers that's tied up to a post in the middle of the street, so she's like, maybe I'll go check it out and see if she's okay. And then as soon as she gets a little bit closer, the lady dies on the post. And as Harmony is sneaking her way through the woods and debris, she runs into Anderson, who's on the ground. He's like, no guns, please don't hurt me. I'm bleeding, I'm injured. And he looks like he's like shot from the chest or something. But he doesn't look like one of the rebel guys or the Apocalypse guys that's trying to pillage everyone else. He just seems like he's one of the villagers. He probably was trying to escape, or at least fend for herself. So Harmony decides to sit down on a rock near Anderson. Anderson's like laying on the ground. He's tired, he's winded, he's injured, and we see Harmony start to eat some food out of her bag, and he's like, I suppose you wouldn't want to like share that, you know. I figured maybe we should get acquainted, you know, we're going to be spending the night together. And then he goes to reach for his side pistol, and he shoots at it, and she thinks he's shooting at him, but really he was just shooting at a snake that was coming towards her that she didn't realize. So then Harmony feels bad for him, so she tosses him a piece of the meat that she's been eating out of her bag. We see him trying to eat it, but he's not really doing a good job chewing it all. He's like, oh, you're quite the cook there, lady. So they're hiding in the cave, and Anderson falls asleep in the cave. And then we hear a motorcycle starting to pull up. We hear a bunch of guys being like, hey, let's go check on those caves. There could be some more people in the caves. But then it just sounds like they drive off, and Harmony goes to sit back down because she's like, they're not coming in here. So now the next morning, we see Harmony waking up. She's freaking out because it's daytime, and she thought maybe Anderson went off with her gun. But no, it's just sitting there. But like as we're standing inside the cave, we can look out the holes. There's a bunch of different walkways that could have gone into this cave. And we see the village like 20 feet behind this cave. So they could have been found pretty goddamn easily. So then Harmony's like, I'm heading out now. I need food and water. And I'm going to go alone because I don't need no cripple holding me down. He's like, oh, so I'm sure you're going to survive on your own. I'm just going to tag along because I don't like these accommodations. So I'm just going to follow you. Harmony's like, fine, you can tag along as long as you keep up and you fend for yourself. He's like, oh, that's the best offer I've gotten all day. Not to mention, I just woke up, so I haven't gotten any other offers at all today. So, that's the best one. So then as they're making their way through the desert hills and this rock and formation, we have a bunch of motorcycles. And then they're at like an upper level looking down at this road. And we see a whole convoy driving down the road. And Aaron's like, it's an attack group. They must be going to attack another village. Clearly what they must be doing. And we get like a close-up of this convoy. We see the different vehicles and like the designs that they use for like armor plating and whatnot. There's a lot of triangles, lots of sharp edges. And it makes me really feel like I'm watching like a Temu or a Wish version of Mad Max or the Road Warrior. Because it kind of post-apocalyptic. It kind of looks the same thing. It's in the desert, middle of nowhere. You know, kind of goes hand in hand together. Then we see this convoy leader who's going to talk to the leader of the Apocalypse guys, the metal-faced villain, and he's letting them know that they lost Anderson because apparently they're looking for Anderson and they really want him, but you know, he's missing in action essentially. And Metalface is pretty mad at this convoy leader because apparently Anderson took on 9 different guys and still got away. Metalface also has a full-on metal arm, but you can tell it's fabric because, you know, the folds in the so-called metal plating. I mean, I'm not picking apart the movie, but, you know, I kind of know certain things. But yeah, the Metalface guy, like, chokes out this convoy leader and he tells him to get the hell out because he's pissed off at him. As the convoy leader is leaving, he's like, one of these days, I'm going to cut off his goddamn balls and feed them to the goddamn dogs, fucking asshole. Anyway, we see Anderson and Harmony going up a cliff, and she's struggling because, you know, the bullet wounds and the blood loss and everything. Anyways, he stumbles and he goes to like kind of grab at her to like steady herself, and she flips right out being like, don't you ever touch me ever again, I swear to God. He's like, calm down, can you put the crossbow down? I just slipped, it's fine, I wasn't meaning to touch you. Anyways, then while they're arguing between each other, random rebel guy just comes up behind a rock being like, hey, you guys drop those weapons, I knew I'd get you. And Harrison's like, oh, wow, it seems like Slater let you out of the cage. So I'm not sure if Slater's the convoy leader or like the metal face guy. I'm also noticing the gun that this rebel guy is holding. It's like made out of various metal pieces. So apparently we're in the future where guns are made kind of like steampunk-esque. I don't really know the style of it. It's got just a random bunch of pieces that make no goddamn sense to it at all. This rebel guy that's got them captured kind of reminds me like he's trying to do his best version of like Chop Top Mosley. Like he's all giddy and happy and laughing, being like, oh, you guys better start enjoying me because we got a long road ahead. And just starts calling the lady like random, you know, see you next Tuesday names and slut name and everything else because, you know, that's comedy back then, right? So they get back to the rebel guy's bike, and he's like, oh, well, what are you going to do now, huh? And so he decides to tie Anderson to this tree, because obviously the bike can only hold 2 people. And the rebel guy's like, you should have never burnt Slater's face. And Anderson's like, I wish I would have finished the goddamn job, to be honest with you. So I'm assuming Slater is the boss guy, because I didn't notice the other guy having a burnt face. I'm assuming that's why the metal plating is on the evil guy's face. So then Harmony goes to run away a bit, and of course the half-wit Apocalypse guy chases after her and puts her down on the ground, pulls out a knife, being like, oh, you better stop or I'm going to carve you open, maybe I'll just slit it a little bit. And Harmony just starts grabbing at what she can get, and she grabs a giant rock and just starts caving his head in. You see Harmony crawling away from the guy. He's still alive. You can tell he's breathing. And Anderson's like, so, you doing okay? And she just tells him to shut up and be like, you got me into this bullshit. I should have knew better to trust you. You're a man. So at this point, Harmony's grabbing her stuff and she starts to walk away, and Anderson's like, you can't just leave me here. Come on, untie me. She's like, nah, in a couple hours you'll be able to work your way free and I'll be long gone. He's like, come on now. I mean, I didn't work with those guys. I tried organizing the Raiders at one point so they can help rebuild the community. It didn't work out. Then they all started following this madman Slater, and then, you know, I'm trying to get away from them. I'm just trying to live my life because I don't want to be one of them. And they're both on the search for this paradise place. And he's like, hey, come on, Harmony. These ropes are cut my wrists. Can you just free me, please? And we'll find the place together. And I won't lie to you. I won't, you know, do anything bad. Just cut me free, please. So we see them driving off on Buddy's bike, and they get to this random spot, and of course the bike runs out of gas. It's like, well, that's as far as we're going on this bike. I guess we're gonna have to walk the rest of the way. And as they're getting off the bike, we see a group of people coming down for this alleyway. I'm pretty sure Harmony calls them the plague, and Anderson's just like, those poor bastards. She's like, well, do you think the guy ain't water? He's like, well, if they do, we can't use it, they're infected. So we see them following this pathway, and Harmony starts getting a little freaked out, because then she points down at the ground, and we see this trail, and Anderson takes a look at it, he's like, it kind of looks like it's been used lately. And she's like, yeah, there's something over there. So then he looks over, we don't see what the frick he's looking at, it just looks like hills and shit. And he's like, let's go over there. And she's like, nah, it could be a trap, that could be dangerous, people don't just give away food for free, we could die. He's like, well, might as well go check it out and see. So they get closer to this civilization, I guess you could say. It's a bunch of rock formations and homes. And he gets closer and closer, and then the guy shoots at them at their feet, of course. He's like, hey, Anderson here, just don't mean no harm. Just need a little bit of food. Just food, if you can spare anything. And the guy's like, food comes very hard these days, and who the hell do you think you are? He's like, just run away from raiders, nothing special here. And the guy's a French guy. He's like, alright, you guys can come in, but don't try anything funny. I got the really itchy trigger finger, and I could shoot you in the face. They get invited into the guy's home, and the guy dropped their weapons like, of course they do. And Harmony's like, do you have an outhouse somewhere by chance? And the guy's like, you have 3 minutes. Just go somewhere outside. He's like, alright, okay then. So of course, when Harmony's going to the washroom, she goes a little bit exploring in this little town that this guy seems to have by himself. And she walks into this one building, and we just see a bunch of meat hanging all over the place. You could definitely tell that it looks like a lot of like cow meat or ribs and whatnot. But then she bumps into another piece of meat, and it's actually a naked lady hanging from a meat hook. And she gets scared and stumbles backwards. And then she runs into another random guy that lives in this village. He's like, oh, look at what I found here. So he goes to run at Harmony, and she randomly picks up a piece of meat that's on like the cutting block and just whips him in the head with him and drops him to the ground. Then Harmony gets back to where Anderson, the other guy, is, and they're eating some food. And the guy's like, oh, there's some food on the table. And Harmony's like, yeah, looks good. Definitely gonna slowly eat this and kick Anderson and be like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. So then Anderson finally gets the clue. He's like, this looks like real good meat stew. What's in it? The guy's like, me and my friends got a deer, a real nice deer a while back. And, it's definitely deer, nothing else. So then Harmony throws her plate at the guy, knocks him to the ground, starts kicking him in the head. And Anderson's like, what's going on? Harmony's like, you gotta go check out the barn. That's not deer meat. That's not animal meat. That whole freaking barn is full of humans. And you're eating human meat. So then she starts tying the guy up and being like, hey, so, Anderson, you still want that stew? You still want that meat, huh? We gotta go now before the others show up. He's like, well, how do you know there's others? He's like, trust me, I know there's others. Let's go. So then we see Harmony and Anderson walking through the desert. And she's like, I should kill that stupid old bastard creep when I had the chance to. And Anderson's like, you can't change the world. You're just gonna go around killing everybody. That's not gonna solve any problems now, right? We see these two hunter guys hunting down Harmony and Anderson. And they argue with each other. And the one guy's like, I sure wish Mom wouldn't have stopped Pa from drowning that bastard. He's such a damn dummy. So we can hear Harmony fighting with one of the guys, and Anderson's still behind the bush being like, god damn it, why Harmony go get in that goddamn trouble? And then I know where Harmony comes up behind Anderson and like grabs his back, and he's like, God, you don't do that, you scared the shit out of me, I could have killed you. Why you gotta do everything by yourself? Why you gotta be so stubborn? So they have a little argument between each other. He's like, no, Harmony, I'm not saying I don't want to control you, I don't want you actually getting hurt out here, okay? He's like, well, I can't wait around for choices, I gotta just act on things, and those two guys are somehow dead now, and we're gonna leave. Then as they're traveling through this desert area, a bunch of desert like camouflage people just start attacking them, and Harmony and Anderson just literally start kicking the shit out of everyone. They're taking like 2 on 2 at a time, but then we look over at Anderson, and he's pinned down on the ground by like 3 of them. So Harmony just comes over and just starts kicking them all in the head. Then as all these guys are knocked out down on the ground, we see their like face masks lift up a little bit, and Harmon's like, we're gonna get it one of these days, aren't we? And Anderson's like, what? She's like, well, the plague, look at these guys, they got boils all over the face, and Anderson goes to like comfort her and like touch her, and she's like, "Don't you ever touch me? I told you. No, I don't trust men at all. Any man that's ever come across me is trying to kill me or hurt me in some sort of form way." And Anderson's like, "Well, I haven't done anything wrong. Stop blaming me for everything." We see Harmony and Anderson working their way through, and nighttime is coming. And Anderson's like, "I think we're gonna have to find some high ground to survive the night," because as they're looking around, we see these hunched over people working their way through the grass, the tall grass. And next thing you know, we cut to nighttime. There's campfire set up, and Harmony and Anderson are both laying on the ground, and then Harmony is wide awake, and Anderson goes to cuddle up against her, and she's not liking that, because then she pulls her knife out of her boot, being like, "Get the hell away from me." It's now the next morning, and they're both being woken up to this large explosion, and they look down the cliff, and it's a bunch of raiders attacking a village that they're pretty much next to. And we see like the standoff between the village and the raiders, because this village has giant walls with barbed wires, and they have actually a bunch of people standing on catwalks shooting at the raiders, and it's the first people that we actually see trying to defend themselves, aside from Anderson and Harmony, of course. So then as Harmony and Anderson are watching all these explosions happen in this village, Anderson's like, "Hey, we gotta get moving, we gotta go down there." And she's like, "Are you crazy?" He's like, "Well, yeah, we gotta go grab one of those bikes, because that's the easiest way to get out here and get as far away as possible, is we steal one of those damn bikes." And as Anderson and Harmony are moving closer and closer to the fight going on, we see the raiders are starting to win the fight against this village, because we see a bunch of the girls being, attacked and roped and whatnot, and all the guys in the village being brutally murdered. We see Anderson trying to start a bike, and we can't hear if the bike's even running because of how loud the noise and everything else is. And then we see a raider notices Harmony and Anderson trying to steal a bike, so the raider goes to attack them, and Harmony goes up and literally sacks the guy. And then they finally get the bike started and start to ride off on it. So then the raiders are yelling, being like, "Hey, somebody's getting away, they got one of our bikes." And then the leader of that group of raiders looks through his binocular and be like, "It's that goddamn Anderson, go get him, guys." It's like you can tell from the back of his head that's Anderson. Good on you, I guess. We see Harmony and Anderson on the bike going down the road. Harmony's freaking out, being like, "Can you make this goddamn thing go any faster?" And Anderson's like, "What do you think I've been trying to do the whole goddamn time? I'm going as fast as I can here, lady." So then Harmony randomly jumps off the back of the bike and starts going up the hill. And then the leader of the raiders is being followed by another guy. And that guy falls off his bike. And so the leader goes back, be like, "What the hell's going on?" He's like, "Well, I tried to go up that hill and I fell down. I don't know what you want me to tell you. That's what happened." So then the leader of the raiders is like, "Hey, you pick up Buddy and let's head back." So then Buddy gets on the bike with the other guy. And he's like, "Hey, brother, not to be offensive or anything, but you stink." So then once the leader drives away, the Buddy just decks him off the bike and goes to drive away, but doesn't realize he drives right off a freaking cliff. Then we cut back to where Harmony's hiding on this cliff, and somehow there's a raider behind her. This is a big hairy guy, and she tries to look all seductive for him, and then she grabs a face full of sand, hits him in the eyes with it, sacks him, and then just tosses him off the cliff. Then Anderson goes to stop his bike, and somehow he doesn't know that the leader of this group is behind him, and his name is Purvis. Apparently they're good friends, or we're good friends, and he's got a gun at Anderson's face, and that's when we then see Harmony slowly sneaking up behind Purvis. He's like, "Freeze, sucker! Put your hands up, big mouth. What you gonna do now, huh?" So then Harmony walks in front of Purvis, and she was literally holding him up with a stick. He's like, "You dirty bitch." And she also has a pistol in her hand. And be like, "Can I shoot him?" And Anderson's like, "Nah, you won't have to shoot him." And they look down, and apparently there's a rattlesnake that doesn't look like a rattlesnake, but it's making the sounds of a rattler that's, going across his feet and being like, "Come on, guys, just shoot the snake, please. Come on, guys, shoot the snake already, please." And they just drive away. So then as Anderson and Harmony are driving through the desert, they come across Orland, who's on top of a rock with his puppy Guinevere. And these other dogs are trying to get at them because, they're wild dogs and they're probably hungry. And Orland's like, "Can I come with you guys? Because I don't want to be left out here by myself, please." Also, they expect Orland to keep up with them, and Orland's on an actual bicycle, and they're on a motorcycle, and they're driving down the road, and Orland's like, "Hey, can you guys slow down? I can't keep up with you guys. I'm also trying to hold a puppy here while biking at the same time." You see Orland getting left off behind, and of course he's getting left off behind because he's on a freaking bicycle. Anyways, apparently Harmony and Anderson didn't see this rope trap across the road where a bunch of these rebels were hiding, and then out of nowhere we hear a bunch of crashing and smashing. Orland goes to check on the cliffside, and he sees them being tossed into Raider vehicles and being escorted away. We see Anderson and Harmony being taken to Slater, who's on his throne, of course. Apparently, they look like they've been trying to get away for like days now at this point in time. But apparently they didn't make any distance away from Slater because it only took them seconds to get back to where Slater was. Slater clearly has some eyes for Harmony, but, that's not going to work out so well because, Harmony's a little bit feisty. He's like, hey, if you treat me right, all this can be yours. And then she actually, sacks him, gets away, starts running through the little compound area. But she gets grabbed before she can get out because, she can only karate kick so many people. And somehow, Roland, with no problem at all, on bicycle, is able to show up at Slater's compound because he's up in the hillside looking down. And then he's whispering for Guinevere because he puts her down on the ground and goes to the height, like the top pier, and then he's like, ah, shit, where's my dog? I forgot where my dog is now. And he's walking around trying to find her, and he falls through a hole on the top of the rock cliff. He falls down this rock cliff. It's on this hole, and the dog is down there. And he's like, oh, now what did you get us into? And the dog just starts looking at his face, being like, I'm sorry. I didn't see that hole there either. So then we see Harmony and Anderson chained up to the wall with shackles and whatnot. And Anderson's like, yeah, so, we're in deep shit. But, Purvis is trying to take out Slayer, so maybe this would be the best chance to try and get away. If the two of them start fighting each other, maybe we'll have a chance. So then we see Purvis coming to grab Anderson and Harmony from the shackles, and they're taking them to Slater, where Slater's like, well, Anderson, you're going to pay for all the crap you've done. You know what? And it's going to suck because I'm going to skin you alive. And Slater goes on, he's like, you fail to see that the old people that destroyed the world are the ones that are going to keep destroying the world, and only the strong will survive, and I'm the strong, I'm the winner. And you're the loser. And then Slater's like, you know what? I'm gonna show Harmony how nice I can be. And then after I'm done with her, all my guys get a turn with her after I'm done. I'm looking around. There's a bunch of guys with gas masks on. There's a couple guys with black pig masks on. And all I can think of is Slipknot for some reason. But then out of nowhere, Roland shows up and he's got a goddamn flamethrower and just starts setting everything on fire. Everyone starts running for their lives, and then Roland's flamethrower stops working. So then he just starts kicking the guys at him, and then Slater's yelling for Anderson, and then out of nowhere, Anderson just comes and starts beating the crap out of him. At this point, the music has changed. It's very upbeat, fast-paced, and it's super goddamn loud compared to the commotion that's going on in the fight scenes. We see Anderson and Slater fighting on the ground, rolling around for this hatchet, and then Anderson gets on top and literally cuts off 3 of the fingers on Slater because Slater's one hand is all mechanical, and the other hand actually has actual human parts. Well, those fingers are now gone. And Anderson picks up this assault rifle that's made out of a bunch of metal pieces, just starts blasting at everyone. Roland's flamethrower just starts working again, and then Anderson's to Roland, I was like, your timing's perfect. I don't know how you got here, I don't know where you came from, but thanks. And then Roland's telling them to go for the door. And then Harmony and Anderson are both looking around being like, what door? He's like, the rock door. And the door's not open at all. So then Roland has to bang on the door. And this random door opens up from the rock cliff. And they escape through it. Then as Roland and Harmony and Anderson are working their way through this cave system, these cloaked people come out. And Roland's like, no, don't worry. Those are my friends. They helped me get to you. And they're kind of little Ewok-looking people in cloaks, or dwarves or something. I don't know what the hell they're supposed to be. They're mutations of some sort. But apparently they've been living in the cave walls the whole time of Slater's compound. If you want to call it a compound, I don't know what the hell they call it. So then as the 3 of them are outside this compound, they see all these gas containers. And Anderson's like, can you blow it up? To Roland? And Roland's like, yeah, hell yeah, I can blow it up. So they decide to blow it up. And then we see Harmony shooting at some of the other raiders. And for some reason, their guns all sound like Star Wars guns. It's also all sound like laser blasters now. We see Purvis and his group of raiders coming out of the tunnel system or cave system, just to see that the whole raider compound or base is now up in flames, essentially. So then we see Anderson and Harmony shooting at Purvis and his group as Roland runs down to one of the Raiders' trucks and they steal it to take off. And of course, as they're driving away in this truck, Harmony's complaining, being like, they're catching up, guys. This thing's not fast enough. You know, you complain about every vehicle we're in, Harmony. How about you pick a bit different vehicle then that's fast enough for you then, huh? How about you next time? Then as they're driving in the truck, the little guys that help rescue them in the caves, in the cloaks, they just start causing an avalanche and a rock slide, and that blocks the road so that Purvis and his guys can't get through, apparently. So they stop the truck on this bridge, and apparently Purvis and his guys can get through, but they put the vehicle across sideways on the bridge, and Roland decides to blow up the vehicle as they run across the bridge. So then Purvis and his guys just stop on the other side of the bridge, and Purvis is like, Anderson, I'm gonna get you, you bastard. So Anderson's like, Purvis, he's pretty excitable type, huh? Well, I'll keep them over there for a couple hours. You know, by then, maybe we'll be at Blue Lake. And Roland's like, I hope you guys find it. And they're like, you're not coming with us? And he's like, nah, I think I'm just gonna hang out around here. It's like, oh, okay. Then we see Roland running off into the hillside to go be with the cloaked creatures or whatever they might be. So then Anderson and Harmony kiss and they start walking down the road. And then as Roland's picking up the puppy with the cloak people, we hear a metal can coming up over the cliff. And then we just see Roland running down the hill with his dog towards Anderson and Harmony. And Anderson looks back, he's like, holy shit, here we go again. And they all just start running off into the desert together. And then the outro credits start to roll and the music starts to play. And that's the end of the movie. I'm guessing maybe there could be a second movie. I highly doubt that there's a second movie to go with this one. If there is, I'd be surprised. But I don't know. I haven't looked into it, so I probably won't either, to be honest with you guys. But it wasn't too bad of a movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It's definitely like you know, Mad Max kind of rip-off, parody. Well, not parody, I guess. It's just a Mad Max spoof, I guess you could say. Maybe spoof's wrong. It's definitely like one of those things that, you know, Mad Max was popular, so this kind of took, you know, ideas from it. I'm not even sure what year Mad Max came out, now that I'm thinking about it. So yeah, the first Mad Max film was in 1979. So it makes sense that this in 1986 would take, you know, ideas from it. You know, it happens a lot. It's nothing to, you know, discredit this movie for. You know, you got like things like when growing up, the Ninja Turtles, say. Then you had like the Mighty Ducks cartoon, which took from the Ninja Turtles. You had like Biker Mice from Mars. You had Moo Mesa Cowboys of the West, or whatever the cartoon was. Gargoyles. There's a bunch of things that took place that, you know, took ideas from, you know, so this being like kind of like a rip-off of Mad Max doesn't discredit it from anything. I thought it was pretty fun, pretty decent, had some good action. The ending was kind of, I don't know, kind of weird. You know, Slater doesn't really die apparently, and Purvis is just like, I'm gonna get you, Anderson, and that's pretty much it. On the rotten scale of 10 though, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty funny, and the guy playing Anderson, he kind of has like a Bruce Campbell kind of look to him, just kind of that whole face kind of reminds me of Bruce Campbell. So you know, that's an extra point, I guess, or a half point. But we are at that point in time where we got to pick what we're watching next week. So we're going to do another blind watch. It's a Charles Band related movie. It's another movie on Tubi. This one is from 1984. It's an action adventure fantasy style movie. This one is called The Dungeon Master. I've heard of it. I've never actually watched it. I haven't seen the trailer or anything. But the description, as read on Tubi, it's a battle of sorcery versus programming when a computer ace and a demonic wizard face off in 7 challenges directed by 7 filmmakers. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully it's good. I mean, it's a Charles Band related film, so, you know, you take it with what you know from Charles Band, you know, Full Moon Features and all that, you know, Puppet Master and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be fun. You know, and this is the whole point of doing this podcast, is watching movies that we've never actually seen before, and might as well do a lot of, you know, first time blind watches. Some of them are going to be good, some of them are going to suck, some of them could be amazing, so who knows. Well, this would be an interesting one to take on, seeing it's 7 different filmmakers and 7 different challenges. So we'll see how this one goes next week. With that being said though, if you want to watch it beforehand, go check it out on Tubi. Like Like I said, 1984, The Dungeon Master. It's an hour and 19 minutes. It's a
PG-13 film. And as always, make sure to check out the outro band, trial-based horror band, Blood Opera. All their links are down below in the description. And, you know, I have them linked to the episodes now as well. A new feature that allows you to do it on Spotify. So you can just click them on Spotify, or if you're on Amazon or iTunes, whatever, just, you know, search them up. Follow them, subscribe to them, all that fun stuff. And as always, check out all my links down below at Typhonstein. You can find me on X, Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, but that main thing being the YouTube channel. Definitely go out, check out the YouTube channel with the weekly game video dropping every single Wednesday. Old episodes of the podcast every single Monday. Very short. I have community posts as well as doing live streams. So tons of hours of free content for you to check out over on the YouTube channel. And make sure to check out the CWC Canadian Wrestling Championship page on Instagram as well as Facebook for all your wrestling content. And we'll have more news about that soon. And as always, I'll talk to you guys all later. Peace.
I am a whisperer.